Welcome to the Hub. I am your host, Cheney Passer. Courtney Briggs is here.
We have a special guest today. Her name is Courtney Briggs.
Yeah.
She's done nothing of significance, but she's going to tell you a bunch of stuff.
Every time she sees what... Oh, yeah, here we go. I gotta stop moving it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you just wait to see what I wear and then you match.
Yeah.
Every time.
I mean, I like that you're matching the light with it. We're doing some, more of the greeny blue tones. You brought out your greeny blue water
I
bottle.
didn't even notice that.
Yeah. It's whatever. It's like I said, I loved when couples would go out and then they would wear colors that like matched each other. Like they had outfits that they knew like went together with each other.
Yeah.
You don't really see that much anymore.
No, not really.
To where I used to love that. I always thought it was so cool. It's like, oh, you guys like showed up like in a uniform together. Like it was
Yeah.
like you guys were your team because we're wearing purple together or wearing whatever.
Yeah. But it's weird because you don't tell me.
I don't notice that I'm doing it.
You
I'm like
just-
subconsciously doing this.
Yeah. You just come downstairs and all of a sudden you're wearing the same colors that I am.
Which is weird because I think you're getting into my head somehow because I always kind of know what I'm going to wear for the day. And then you would get, like, you get dressed always before me because you just get ready quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I already had the outfit planned.
Yeah.
You just somehow always match what I had in my head.
Did you, though?
What was that one day? I laughed so hard about it.
Yeah, because you were giving me shit about something. And then I was like, okay, says the one that's literally trying to be like me. Look, you're wearing the same outfit.
Oh, yeah, I was just kind of, like, giving you shit for something. And you were like, you're literally trying to be me. Look at what you... And I, like, looked down, and I didn't realize I was wearing, like, the same exact outfit as him. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't even, like, wearing the girly version. Like, I just straight up was like, what is he wearing? I need to wear the exact same thing.
Yeah, it was like red
the
sweatshirt.
same color.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I laughed very hard at that.
Yeah. Well, I think we could probably get into it right away.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about balance. Balancing basically, everything. It's kind of brought to our attention that, like, with some of what we've talked about already on this podcast, it can start to become overwhelming because it's just adding to the total of what you already have to do. On one of the last ones we talked about mobility and stretching and how that can be something that you're missing out on, that could break through plateaus, or it could fix, some pain issues going on, or, a variety of things. And that basically, we did that episode and it was just kind of like, okay, well, now here's another thing that you have to do. And then here's another thing and another thing and another thing. So we're going to talk about just how do you balance everything and not make it too overwhelming and kind of get everything that you're wanting from this whole fitness process.
Yeah. Because I think a big theme that we like to bring up in this podcast is balance with your life and, between your diet and your working out and you're just having fun, that kind of getting a little bit more granular with how can you have balance even within your programming and within your workout, not just overall life, but all these great attributes that we bring up and you could be doing or should be doing, how to actually realistically do majority of it.
Yeah, because it's difficult. Like, not only is it like, not only is it difficult to just go to the gym and get a workout in, but now we're talking about, like, adding a stretching routine or adding a warm up or,
right.
And then it's like, okay, well, what you're going and working out, but maybe you need to work out differently now to get the effects or the changes that you're wanting. It can all become so overwhelming and not knowing what to do or where to go. And also it's just a time thing. Like, not everybody has an abundance of time just to go, oh, they said to do mobility and stretching, I'll just add that now For some people, like,
I don't have the extra 10 minutes.
yeah, you don't, yeah, literally you don't, or it's, you're finding it hard to listen and then try to apply those things when it's like, I can barely find time to even get to the gym or
Right.
do my own workouts. So I think that's what we're going to try to kind of break down, and everybody's going to be different. So this is all going to be somewhat of a general idea or things to think about for yourself of maybe what you could implement or what you, I don't know, just like how you can construct your schedule and your life to fit this workout routine or
And
just
even if it just
anything.
gives you an idea, you
Yeah.
don't have to follow these specific protocols, but even if it's just like, oh, I kind of like how they brought that up, that kind of could turn into this, or I have a different way that I could do that, but it just triggered that idea for you. So just keep an open mind, I guess.
Yeah.
So what would your, for an average person, not getting into specifics of like, you would probably benefit from this, but just an average person, what do you think the elements of a healthy lifestyle look like?
I would say, I would say adequate activity. And that's not even just specifically like going to the gym, working out. It's just activity, going for walks, or, I mean, literally anything.
Moving your body.
Moving your body. The healthy diet, eating the foods that work well with you and are helping your body function in the way that it's supposed to be. I don't know, in healthy mental space, which to me the diet and the exercising or being active attributes to that. They all kind of attribute to each other, to be honest. I think those are kind of the three pillars, at least in my head. And there's very specific details in each of them of how do you get them to be at their highest value for you. But I would say those three things is what I try to focus on, and creating the balance between all three of them to just be the healthiest that I can be, mentally, physically, basically those two.
Yeah, I would agree. I think to get, so like, say if you just did the broad, maybe then I can get into the more specifics. I think having a diverse, I've been saying this a lot, but like a diverse portfolio with your activity. So if you're used to just lifting weights, that's great. I think a lot of people should have some sort of a resistance training program. No, that does not mean you need to be lifting weights 6 days a week. That could be 2 days a week or 3 days a week, full body. Doesn't need to be a specific program. But maybe some sort of resistance training program, some sort of light, like just going on walks or getting steps in, or maybe you do enjoy cardio, so doing that, and then some sort of mobility / stretching / yoga, whatever. But again, that can be in such small moderation that I think we'll maybe get into the specifics of how could you actually schedule this. And then, yeah, what he said with the diet and figuring out what foods work for you, like he said, and also maybe thinking of how your diet can assist your activity. And if you're, I'm not doing as much, or I'm just kind of focusing on my, like my stretching and my mobility and yoga practices, what diet should I be utilizing for that? And not that that needs to be stressful of, oh my gosh, now I need to figure out different diets. I'm just figuring out how to eat regular. But just getting a well-balanced protein source, fat source, a carb source. And then, yeah, I like what you said with the mental space of also doing things that are enjoyable and fun and keep your heart happy and your soul happy, because none of the other stuff is going to be worth it if you're not motivated by anything or inspired by anything, or even just on a day-to-day basis, just kind of sludging through.
Well, I think that's where most people tend to kind of fall off the wagon as far as exercise or even diet, is whether it's they don't have a goal or it's just their mental space or their attitude each time they go to work out is like, oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, I don't want to go to the gym. And as difficult as it is to maybe get motivated or excited for it, you have to try to work on that mental space of being excited to go do that, or being just having the want to go do it, because it's gonna beat you down. It's gonna keep beating you down. It's just that negative mindset is just gonna keep snowballing, and then you're gonna get off of the diet or just eating well. You're gonna start making poor choices, and then you're gonna start skipping workouts, and it's just gonna keep going, and then all of a sudden, you're not going to the gym, you're not eating well, and then typically what happens is January comes around and you make this big change to start going again, but you never changed your mental space or your mental state of not seeing it as such a negative thing, or seeing it as something that is just so disruptive to you, and it's so difficult to you. So I think that's the mental state is a big reason why people can't keep the consistency going, to where it's not the workouts that you need to change. It's not the diet that needs to change to inspire you or whatever. At least is my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's your view of what you're doing that you need to try to hype it up, or get something to motivate you with it, or
Because
just changing your
think
overall mindset about stuff.
I think most people understand that all of this stuff is important. Like you're
Yeah.
saying. I think the disconnect is I'm not worth it. Or maybe that's maybe a little bit
Maybe
heavy,
for some
but
people,
like, like just the mental space of, no, I'm worth taking the time. I'm worth taking that extra 10 minutes. I am worth prioritizing myself in these ways. And doing it even if it's, I don't know, maybe not the highlight of your day. Like I remember someone saying, like I have to get up at 4 a.m. to work out before my kids get up. And then, my kid was like, oh, that stinks that you have to get up and work out early in the morning when it's cold out or whatever, first thing when you get up. And then the kid asking saying to the dad, like, well, at least you love it. So it's like, you get to do something fun. He was like, I don't love doing this. I don't like getting up at 4 a.m. Like, if it was my choice, I would do it whenever I wanted to and not have to rush you to school right after. He's like, I don't like doing this. I don't like getting up early. I don't like being in the cold doing this. But I know the importance of it, and I know that I value myself to make it a priority to do that and kind of make it more of the commitment and the consistency rather than an enjoyment factor. So yes, I think we are giving a lot of elements to your fitness programming, but I do think all of it is very important. And even though it does seem like a lot, it's supposed to be kind of.
a little bit. And I think that's what we're trying to break down in this, is like, how do you find your balance in it?
Sure.
Everybody's going to have a different balance. They're going to have a different thing that they need to do to keep all of these things working properly. Because it's difficult, because for some people, it's like you need to value yourself and make yourself important. And this is steps in those directions. And then for some people, it's just need to have a more positive attitude about it and try to look at it as something that is really good for you and really amazing for you. And it's exciting to go do that. It's exciting to be a part of even just be a part of a community, but also like if you're going to a gym, like you're going to do this thing that is bettering you, not only your physical health, but your mental health. You're taking time for yourself. And then when you're done with it and you're starting your day, maybe you have this amazing start to your day that you already valued yourself. Or if it's the end of your day, now you're ending your day with something that, it's like the cherry on top. Like I just killed the day kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. So now that I feel like kind of broke down or rambled about the importance of it, how can we systematically create a formula that works? Or, I mean, like you just said, it's going to be different for everybody, but almost like a schedule of how you can manage all this and create the balance.
I think generally speaking, most people go way too extreme. I think we have these big aspirations and these big goals of like, I want to lose this much weight or I want to look this certain way. To where if you're even struggling just going to the gym consistently, like, and I would say like throughout the whole year, you need to start there. You need to start by just being able to go to the gym consistently. And like if you say you're going to go 3 days a week, making sure you go 3 days a week and you stay to that and you do that before you even start to go to like, I need to create these crazy goals and aspirations of what I want to do, what I want to look like. And so I think you need to start there of like, let's bring the big goal down a little bit to like, let me just get to the gym for this year and do what I need to do that way. So a lot of people are like, I'm going to start going 5 days a week and do this and do that. When you started at 0 days and now you're trying to jump to 5, start with 1, start with 2 days. And I think this is where like kind of going to the mobility and stretching thing where it feels like you're just adding more on is we're extremists. I feel like here in the United States where it's like, you need to be going to the gym 5 days a week and doing stretching mobility, 3 out of those 5 days. And you don't need so much. I think there's a little bit of like, I don't know, just there's a little bit of misinformation about how much activity you really need, or extreme activity like going to the gym and lifting weights and running 5 miles and all that kind of stuff.
It's almost like people are trying to be the extreme in every avenue. Like,
right.
I'm going to lift weights as much as a bodybuilder is going to lift weights. And I'm also going to do as much cardio. Like, that's my thing. And I'm trying to run a marathon. And then I'm also going to be a yogi.
Right.
Like, and I'm going to be the most flexible and the most mobile.
Yep.
Like, well, you don't need to be. Where's the lowest version of all of those? That's where most people can lie and be healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. And be healthy. And I think that's the important part is you don't have to be like what you just said, all of those things just to be healthy. It's actually not super difficult to be healthy. You can do those things at a very low amount of times a week or a day or whatever and be healthy.
Because I think most people out there or that are wanting the balance or are struggling to find balance with this that is really what you need. You just need to be healthy. The people that are a little bit more of the extreme, they're not going to find a struggle adding these things on.
Right.
They're going to go, yeah, I get it. Or I already know how to make it work or whatever. Like, they don't need the balance. They just, yeah, okay, let's add it on. And we're good with that. And then they can just continue to add those things on. But that's such a small amount of people. And like, so maybe even just like farther down the line too. And that's not even necessary to get to.
But that's where I would start as far as finding the balance is like start from 0, kind of go, okay, even if you're trying to find balance right now and say you're going to the gym 5 days a week and you're feeling overworked or you're wanting to add things in, but you can't find the time. I think this even applies to you or the person that is just trying to get started. Start at 0. Okay, we're going to the gym 0 days a week now. Now think about what are the things that you're wanting to do are you trying to put on muscle and build size? Are you trying to increase your flexibility? Are you trying to be able to run long distance, whatever it is? Or if it's simply you're just trying to be healthy, start here at 0 and now start to build out what you're wanting to do. I think what people do a lot of the times is they go, well, I'm going to the gym 3 days a week and weightlifting, but now I want to get more flexible because I listened to this podcast and they said that they might be, that the reason I can't get gains, or it's important. So I need to start adding in stretching. Well, I go to the gym 3 days a week. So now I'm going to start adding stretching 3 days a week. And then they start just listening to more people or they start getting other ideas and they start adding and adding. And they're realizing, oh my God, if I want to do all these things, I have to go 7 days a week. It's like, I can't do that. To where bring it all back to 0 and now start building out what you want to do. Because goals can change and that's okay. I've gone from I want to get as big as I possibly can to I want to have crazy insane cardio. But I don't go, oh, I want to get as big as I can
And have insane cardio.
and have insane cardio at the same time, because it's just, your body's not going to work like that. To where now I'm at the point where it's like, I want to be able to kind of do both. I want to have a good amount of strength, but I want to be able to have a good amount of cardio. It's not the extremes of either. It's just, I want to be well-rounded, basically, to where I go back and I start at 0. Okay, now how do I build what I'm wanting to build? Rather than, I'm already going 3 or 4 days. How do I can't add anything on top of this. So come back to 0 and now start working out.
And if you're that person that is just needing the balance, then that's your goal.
Yeah.
That's like, just like anything. I feel like this is how you should live life. This is how you should treat your career. This is how you should treat finances, or what your goals are there. Like, this is where I would like to get. What are the steps to take? Not just, well, I'm just going to go for the main thing. Well, that's going to be hard to do that. It's probably going to be a lot of wandering around, and it might not feel like you're getting anywhere. So where a lot of people, they have this big goal of, I want to lose 50 pounds. Okay, well, now I just need to go towards losing 50 pounds. Or I want to look like this person, and I want to look really cut and jacked or whatever. Well, when that's your outcome, it's kind of like, again, how are you getting there? You can just keep dreaming and thinking about it and working out, but there's not an intention to where kind of mapping out what your steps are. So if you are starting from nothing, or even you are working out, but you're just trying to refresh and you want to have the balance, go, okay, what does step 1 look like? Does that look like stretching for half of my workout, or doing mobility and doing weights? Okay, well, what is a reasonable schedule that works for me right now? Is that 1 day a week? Is that 1 day of mobility and 1 day lifting? Okay, say that that's what you decide. Now do that, and do that consistently to where you feel like, I don't have to think about it. There's no challenges that come up with this. And if there are challenges that come up, I know how to deal with them. Meaning, like, life challenges of like, well, I get to it half of the weeks. It's like, no, consistency is over time created.
Mm-hmm.
It's becoming habitual now. And then now you go, okay, now what's step 2? Is step 2 adding in more weights? Is it maybe adding in a different element that maybe now you're adding in cardio? Is it now I'm going to focus a little bit more on my diet? And then you just keep going from there until those things don't even become separate elements anymore. Like, this is now just your fitness portfolio. This
Right.
is now the way that you live. Like, I think of something that I grew up with is like, all my teachers, like, stretching for getting flexible shouldn't be something that you need to do in class, or we need to focus on. Like, anytime you're watching TV and there's a commercial, get down and stretch. Get down and do the splits or whatever. Like, it just can become part of your lifestyle that, yeah, you drop down and do some 90 stretches when you're feeling bored or feeling antsy or whatever. That it doesn't even need to be within this slot of time. Maybe that works for you. I know for me, that definitely works better for me if I can just chunk it into one section of my day. But figuring out the direction you're going, you can still have the overall outcome. But narrowing down the steps, I think, keeps your motivation there. And it also just gives you more of an intention of every day, what am I doing? Every week, what am I doing? Every month, what am I doing? Where am I going towards? Or what am I going towards? And an actual plan of how to do that.
Yeah, and I think that's a attainable plan too. You know, that's what people do is they go, well, I'm going to start going 5 days a week. That's my goal, or that's my plan. And if you're not already coming from, like, I do 4 days a week consistently, and I'm just adding 1 day.
Yeah.
That's a reach that you're going to be able to do that. You know, make it a attainable plan to begin with. It's 1 day a week or 2 days a week. Start small, because if you really want to make, like you said, make it habitual, or you want to make it so that your life is actually changing and you're actually doing this and not doing the same, you go strong for 4 months and then you drop off and you get inconsistent, and then the last 3 months of the year, 4 months of the year, you're not doing anything, and then you start over again. You have to start small, and it may seem super small, but you have to start small and then gain that confidence and that consistency, and then you can start adding things. I think a good general rule of thumb for people that maybe are already doing stuff is if you're going to add something, you need to decrease something or take something away. You know, if I'm doing weightlifting 5 days a week and I want to start doing cardio, I'm going to
Change the variables.
I'm going to take 1 day of weightlifting away and add that 1 day of cardio in. Or my weightlifting days, instead of being an hour, are going to come down to, 30 minutes or 45 minutes. And then I'm going to add in cardio on one of those days or whatever it is. But typically, if you're going to add something, decrease something. So I think for a lot of people that you're wanting to, I like how you said portfolio, like you're having this fitness portfolio. You want to do yoga, you want to go for runs, you want to weightlift, you want to do, those 3 things. If you're not already doing something, you can do all those 3 things, but I would say try not to put them on the same days, or try not to, don't make it so extreme. Yeah. Don't make it so extreme. Like, we do yoga, I go for runs, you do a little bit of the rower, we both lift weights. That's something that's been built over time. And it comes like, we'll do yoga and then maybe cardio that day. And then,
well, here, let's just run you through our week. We do something active every day just because that works within our schedule. That's something that we find important to us, or just something that is manageable for our lifestyle, to where we will go. And this is a new programming for us. It's not like this is the thing that we stand by. We switch it up all the time.
Yeah.
But something that we have been consistently doing for a couple months, I would say, is every other day. 1 day is our cardio day, 1 day is our lifting day. And each lifting day, we have our written workout of, it's full body, mostly just because of what we have available to us currently. But it's a full body, always having a compound lift, always having some sort of...
It's usually like 1 to 2 compounds, and then, some minor exercises like curls or...
more of the... Yeah. I was trying to think of it. I'm like, well, yeah, but those are harder for me. But it's just because they're harder for me. They're not. Like, they're supposed to be the chiller ones.
So, but all of them are 4 exercises. 4 exercises. We're doing 4 sets each at 10 repetitions. And that's the weightlifting workout. Mm-hmm. It's not, 7 exercises and 4 sets. Like, we're not in the gym for 2.5 hours. It's 4 exercises. We do 1 at a time. We get through our 4 sets, move on to the next exercise, and and full body.
Yep. We just got done with doing 15 reps. Now we're in the 10 rep phase. I don't know. You programmed this whole thing. Are we moving into like a lower rep after this?
We'll do this for these exercises for like 3 or 4 rounds, and then we'll go to maybe not down to like a 5x5, but probably go 5 sets and then go between like 5 and 8 reps or something like that.
And then on our cardio days, we switch off. We either both do the rower, or he goes for a run and I do the rower. I'm not going to go on a run, but he goes on a run and I do the rower. And then we also implement yoga on that day. Mobility, Sometimes
we do, like, it's not every cardio day we do yoga.
Sure.
I don't, at least.
Yeah. I would say 8 out of 10 times, but it's not like we have to do it. It's just like...
not me. I'm not doing it 8 out of 10. No, I'm doing it maybe once or twice a week.
Maybe. I am doing it more than... Maybe I am.
You're probably doing it more than me.
And then for my mobility, I really just add that in as my warm-up
for your workout.
to our lifting days.
Oh, yeah.
And then we go on like a 40 35 to 40-minute walk every morning, but that's also just for us and our, like the feeding your heart and your soul aspect of it is that's time that we can zone in and have conversations and get outside and in the sun. And
Yep.
it's easy activity, getting our steps in.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like, that's not that extreme for just maintaining health.
But that is something that has been built over time. It doesn't seem hard or extreme to us now.
You're right.
But it's steps. You have to take the steps. And I think that's part of what you were saying before of like, you may have this goal of, I want to be able to be active or doing something every single day, but you're starting at 0, or you're starting at, you only do it maybe once or twice a week, or you're inconsistent.
That's something that we even talked about of how I might want to adjust as the new year comes around is I'm going to be traveling a lot more. So my goal is not to, I don't have a body goal of I want to build out my back or I want to build out whatever. I want to get super cut or bulk or whatever. Because I know for me that is going to be hard to achieve when I'm gone 4 out of the 7 days.
Yep.
And in a hotel where I may not have access to a gym or time to get to the hotel gym. But I know I could manage 3 days of full body lifting or 3 days of activity. Or I know even if the gym is closed at the hotel, I can do yoga or I can do my mobility. Or if there is a gym at the hotel that I have access to, like, okay, great. That's an extra lifting day that I have. But not setting myself up going, well, you have to have this goal and you have to achieve it when I'm adding different stresses to my life or just different factors of now I'm going to be traveling more. I'm going to be in different time zones. I'm going to be working a lot more and having my quality of sleep might not be as good. And I'm at a hotel, so my food might be a little bit off. That my main focus is just going to be how can I maintain those 3: sleep, food, and my activity, my exercise, and to a realistic schedule.
Yeah. And the activity thing, I think, is that's one things that I want to just like beat the dead horse about, and I want this podcast to push out there so much is like any activity is good activity. You don't have to be somebody that goes to the gym 5 days a week to be healthy. It's such a misrepresentation of what you need to do. I really dislike that about what like this health and fitness community does of doing these extreme things. And it's like you're watching these people on YouTube or Instagram or wherever, and
their life is fitness.
Their life is fitness. This is what they do to pay the bills. This is what they do to like for their fun, for their hot, like it's everything to them. That's not what the general population is. Yeah. So don't think that you need to do what they're doing because that's not your life. Mm-hmm. If your life was that, then yeah, you probably should be going that often, but it's not. You work a normal 9 to 5 or you're whatever your situation, the general population. So any activity is good activity. Going for walks, awesome. Getting out in the sunlight, awesome. Even like what you said, commercials and you get down and stretch or do something. That is activity. That is adding to your total of activity. Running around playing with the kids. At Christmas time, people are playing bags. You get in there and you start playing bags with people. Like any activity is good activity. And it's the more that you can seek that out or do that, again, it's fueling every single cup, the mental health cup, the activity cup. And then if those 2 things are rising, you're going to start making better or good choices with your food. It's just seeking out any little bit of activity. Oh, they're having fun doing this thing. Let me go with them. Let me go for a walk with them, ride a bike with them. Or it doesn't have to be this like, I'm going to the gym 4 days a week and I'm doing my workouts to get to this goal and yada, yada, yada. That becomes fun. Like having goals is fun, but you shouldn't, in my opinion, you shouldn't just always have a goal that you have to go after and get to, because you're going to run out of steam. Motivation is...
You're going to run out of goals.
Well, you're going to run out of goals. Well,
there's only so many things.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could just rework it, but...
Yeah.
Making a joke.
But it just motivation, it comes and goes so quickly that you can't rely on just motivation. You have to, and I think goals, I don't know, it's so difficult. Goals they're amazing, but they require so much effort and focus and time and energy to go after them and get them, to where we don't always have all of that to give and to do. A lot of the time it's like, I just need to go for a walk and just play with the kids, and that's my activity for the day. And that's fine. But doing that more and more is going to add to that cup of activity.
Yeah. Well, and like, you think of most of two things. I think you think of most people, maybe not most people, but a regular job, or, if you're someone that sits down all day, just going for a walk or doing 20 minutes of yoga, or just, getting up every hour and literally just standing.
Yep.
That's progress. Now, does that need to be, well, I'm good now? Like, no, again, going back to the steps, you can eventually add more to the puzzle, or, like just advance. You can advance yourself with that of, like everything that we said. But I think what you said was great with the motivation. It's hard to have motivation all the time. And in my opinion, whether it's fitness or anything with life, you can't run on motivation. You have to run on commitment and dedication. Maybe motivation gets you in the door, but commitment and dedication keep you there and keep you coming every single day.
And that's what most people have the problem with, is the commitment and going and doing it every single day. Everybody gets a whiff of motivation and they start doing it. But like what you just said, I think everybody, where they fall off is they don't run it. They run out of the motivation, which then that's where the commitment just goes away. You gotta have the commitment and the dedication to just keep doing it, even when you're not motivated.
Because most of the time you're not going to be. I think of, 9 out of 10 days. I mean, the last podcast that we shot, I was like, I'm actually excited to work out today.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you the last time I was excited to work out. 9 out of the 10 times, I'm like, oh yeah, we got to work out today.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to keep doing it. If you, I mean, yes, you don't have to do anything, but if you understand.
No, I'm here to tell you have to.
If you understand the importance and you care about your health and you care about your well-being, you have to. It's just like eating. It's just like taking care of your kids. It's just like going to work. It's non-negotiable. Make it non-negotiable. That it's one of those things that it pays out. It's worth it. You just have to create that discipline, create that lifestyle. I know I always say that with the lifestyle thing, but it's like the people that get really pumped when it's coming up for the new year of like, this is the year I'm going to attack it. This is the year I'm going to change. This is the year I'm going to lose the weight. This, whatever it is. Great. Let that motivation get you in the door. But these things that we're talking about and what this podcast should be and why we have personal training, why we have our programs is, and I say that in a lot of our like promos for our programs, is we want to assist you in creating that lifestyle that stays, and it's not just a spark because it's a new year, new me. Sure, let that amp you up, but create logical steps so that this dream and this goal doesn't just fizzle 2 weeks in when you go, oh, well, it was a lot easier in my head when I just thought about going to the gym, or it was a lot easier, the diet that I had in my head. It's like when you actually have to do it and feel it and keep going with it, that's where those steps can come in. That's where those steps can hold you accountable and just keep you on track. And why people like us want to assist you in making that easier and making that personal to you so that it's a lifelong thing. It's not I did good and then I kind of fell off, and then I do good and then I kind of fall off. Like creating the sustainability, creating the consistency, the commitment, the dedication, the not, I went to the gym for a month and that's really good. It's like, do that for years and years. That's consistency.
Yeah, I would say don't have the attitude of I'm gonna attack this. Have the attitude of like I'm gonna put my toe in the water and hold it there until I feel ready to put my foot in the water, and then I'm gonna put, up to my knee in the water. Like really slowly go into this. If you're having a lot of trouble by staying consistent, keeping the balance with all of this, those are, I'm going to keep repeating them, but I would say go back to zero and put the toe in the water. Start small, make it achievable and attainable. And once you have that down and it's second nature, now add something. And I would say like something that could get you really far, even though it's really simple, is do go to the gym, or if you have a gym at home or wherever you're doing your workouts. My suggestion is always going to be to start with weightlifting, but do 10 minutes of mobility, do a 25 to 30 minute weights routine, 10 minutes of stretching at the end, and then go home. You're basically in and out of there under an hour. That's your going to the gym workout for the week. And then try to find other ways to get activity, but like going for walks, or, even simple things of, this is the cliche thing everybody said, but like park far away at the grocery store, so you have to walk and you get the steps in, and try to find ways to be more active, take the stairs, all those cliche silly things, but they actually do something. And I would say that's a very general but simple start point. And then once you do that and that second nature, now add a second day, or maybe your second day is now, okay, I like to run a little bit. I'm going to start running. I'm going to go for a little jog for my second day. But seriously, start small. Try to get the variety, like you're getting mobility, weightlifting, stretching all in one day in an hour. And then you can start to add more on top of that. I wouldn't say you need to go to the gym 3 days a week, weightlifting. That's what you start with. Because that's just too, it's going to take a lot for you to keep going and achieve that. Take the steps that you know you're going to successfully achieve, and then keep working up and building up. The amount of people that I have trained, where simply the person that comes in once a week versus the person that comes in twice a week,
they end up just coming in once a week most of the time.
They end up just coming in once a week, or they are way more inconsistent because that's a tall task for them to come in twice a week. But the person that signed up for once a week for 6 months, they were there every week for 6 months because one time is achievable. And typically those people would then, okay, I think I'm ready to go up to 2 times a week now. I've done this for 6 months. I think I'm ready for 2. And they had a way better success rate and like coming to the gym rate than the person who starts off with 2. And it's simple, 1 versus 2. You have to start small. You have to start with a thing that you know you can achieve, and then start building from there.
And it might be a kind of not fun way to look at it, but if you're that person that's like, I'm motivated to do this, like I really want to make a change, or even just like I notice that I need to make a change. Think about, you have to do this on days when you aren't motivated. You have to do this on days when you don't want to go, and it's, you have to drive there, or your kids are, being harder on you that day, and you still have to follow through to yourself. On those days, what will you be able to manage? Because maybe most of the days are going to be that, or majority, like it's not just going to be, wow, I'm having an awesome day and now I get to go work out. It's going to be the days that you're tired and you didn't get good sleep and work sucked and your kids suck. You still got to work out. That's still when you have to put in your fitness or time for your fitness. So I like the idea of where are my steps? I feel like that's a theme that has been in our life the past week or so, and just kind of seeing everything like that. Like, what steps do I need to take to get to this grand goal. Doesn't mean that you can't take out goals. Doesn't mean that you can't still have that idea in mind. But, you know, like just an example, there's plenty of other things, but say you're wanting to lose a lot of weight. That weight, you didn't gain that weight overnight. You didn't gain that weight in a week. You didn't gain that weight in even a month. That took a long time to get to that point. It's going to take a bit to get back to where it was or where your other goal is or what, you know, whatever other weight you want to be. That
And by
with every meal you added that on weight. With every workout and with all that, it's the consistency. It's so silly, but like you are consistently gaining weight. You're consistently going to lose it and feel healthy again.
Yep.
That's just an easy thing because I feel like most people, that's where they are, is they want to lose weight. I'm sure everybody has their own, you know, goal too. But yeah, like smaller steps and just keep making steps.
It's I think what you said, it's consistency. That's what it's so much boils down to. That's almost all it boils down to is consistency.
No matter how big or small your goal is.
Yeah. It's almost always consistency. And I think that's where the consistency ties into the balance. Is you need to create the balance that will keep you being consistent. And too much of the time is people are starting way too quick and way too hard. They're going all out at it and you burn out. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not you attack it and then you're going to get to that goal. It is, you're going to beat this drum over and over and over again for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you're just going to keep beating the drum slowly. And that's what's going to get you there. Not this quick burst of motivation and energy and I'm going to get it and I'm going to do it and attack. It's, no, I'm going to slowly take small steps into the water and until all of a sudden I'm all the way in the water and now it's fine.
And sometimes life does call for that extreme attack, go-getter ideal or mentality, but 90% of people don't have that or don't need to experience that.
No, yeah.
You know, like you're mostly just probably trying to be healthy, trying to stay, you know, to a weight that you like, to feel good, to look good, to move good. Majority of people are that.
Yeah.
So just think about that. You don't need to be the person on Instagram that you see. You don't need to be, you know, even maybe some people that you listen to. Like, again, going back to this isn't your job. You're not making money off of looking a certain way, off of how fast you get to looking that way, how, you know, like, and if that was the case, you wouldn't be having these issues.
Well, and I tell you what, those people that are on YouTube that are pumped every single video to go work out, that's not true. No. It's not the case.
They're getting paid to do that. Again, going back to that.
Right.
That's their job, is to make it seem exciting.
Yeah. And there's not enough YouTube videos in the world to keep you motivated. It's gonna fizzle out and it's gonna go away. The thing that you can rely on is, like what you have been saying, having steps in place of, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to achieve this goal, and by creating that consistency and discipline. That's what you'll fall back to. Because
even those people that we're talking about, they had to create that lifestyle. It's not like they just grew up and were lifting 6 days a week, 7 days a week. Like, everything is built up to that point. Just, you got to, and that's why I don't think we can have like this day you do this and then you do this, is because that's not individualized. That's not, granted, that's why we have our personal training. That's why we have those things, because that's where we can dive a little bit deeper into your personal life and what could work for you. On the podcast, we can only give, you know,
we want to help as many people as we can.
We have to be general. But yeah, sit down with yourself and figure out what those steps are for you. Figure out what schedule works for you. Figure out what an ideal and realistic what's the word I'm looking for?
Just path or
your progression. How can you progress this? There's your goal. Where's 0? Fill in the gap. That works for you.
Because a lot of people, they just have the goal.
Yeah. They go, I'm here, but I want to be there.
And they don't fill the gap. They don't They don't take the time to look at what steps do I need to take to get to there. And they're going to be maybe not fun or boring, but it is. You're at zero, or come and put yourself back to zero and go, okay, I want to refresh and restart here. I'm going to start with, 1 day a week, 2 days a week. I'm going to do these exercises, or I'm going to do yoga and a walk on this day and that day. And then as you do that, 3-6 months, however long, when you feel comfortable, it becomes a habit. It becomes second nature for you to get up and go do that exercise or that activity. Now you add in the next step. And I think it's maybe not so fun or boring, but I think it's a good idea to write it out. Go from, make a little staircase. You start at the bottom, the top is your goal, and now fill in the steps of what steps am I going to take? I want to, one day go to the gym 1 day a week for 3 months. Perfect. Step 1 complete. Now go to the second step. What did you write down for your second step? And do that. But you have to create a balance that's going to let you be consistent. Don't create something that's not going to let you be consistent. For me, I want so badly to be the person that wakes up at 4 a.m. and gets their workout in and done. Every time I go to do it, I fizzle out and I can't do it. And I go back to, working out at a different time. But it's because I think I'm starting too aggressive. What I should do is just wake up at 4 a.m. I'm going to wake up and work out. It's like, no,
Right.
literally I don't wake up at 4 a.m. I wake up at 7:40 or something. It's like literally just start by waking up at 4 a.m. and do that for 3 months. Okay, now I know I can wake up at 4 a.m. easy peasy. Now I'm going to start adding in my workout.
If you're wanting to make that a lifestyle, if you just want to do just like a fun burst of hey, let's see if we can do that and just have it be fun. I feel like we do that a lot of I don't need this to last forever. I just want to see if I can do it for a little bit. Wake up and do yoga, or wake up and go on a walk, or those things sometimes turn into lifestyles because we're oh, we actually like this. Now we go on a walk every morning. But there's also just some things that it can just be,
yeah,
I want to try doing this or whatever. But I think with general health things, take baby steps, take steps, know what steps you're taking, map it out. And I think you know who you are either way, but be honest with yourself of, you have this goal, the steps. And if you're well, I want to have this in 6 months. It's okay, but also let yourself do this in the timeline that you need. Also,
because
you could either be the person that you need to give yourself a little patience and grace and go, this is going to take the time that it needs to, but I'm going to be consistent as hell the whole time. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to readjust. I'm going to adapt how I need to adapt. Or you could be that person that you need to be honest with yourself and go, I'm not trying that hard.
Yeah,
I keep teeter-tottering. I am not I say that I'm trying, or I'm doing all these things and I'm putting in the effort, but also be honest with yourself in that way.
Yeah.
Of, am I actually doing the work?
Right.
But sorry, what were you going to say?
I think there's, to your point of that person that wants to make that goal or hit that goal in 6 months or whatever, I would say stop yourself and go, okay, do you want to take the risk of you falling off of this and not getting to your goal in 6 months and actually having to start this whole thing over again? Or expand that 6 months out to a year and a half, 2 years, and know that you're going to get there. Because again, too much, too fast. You're going to set, especially just setting a deadline.
That could be pressure.
You're putting too much pressure and too much on just, that's not what we're talking about. The consistency. You're not building a consistency and building a solid base and a structure. You're trying to get it all done. You're not trying to actually create something that's going to carry you through the rest of your life. You're just trying to get this thing done to where that's going to end and fizzle out and run out, and you're going to be starting back at the same point that you started that first journey on.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and if you're a parent, I used to use this analogy to try to get, some of the people that I worked with to understand. But like, if you're trying to teach your child a new skill or tool, or like when they first start getting dressed by themselves or brushing their teeth, like things that they will have to do for the rest of their lives, you want that experience to be enjoyable. You want that experience to also be consistent so that they learn how to do it and they see that this is something that we have to do every single day. You also probably have a schedule for them so that they know, oh, I do this before I go to bed, or I have to, put my clothes on right before I come out of it, whatever the thing is. You build them up to be able to handle this new tool and new skill, and that so that they do it for the rest of their lives. This is a new tool for you. So give yourself the full setup to be able to have this be long lasting and not just like, ugh, yeah.
Yeah. This is kind of, it doesn't really apply to what you said, but something I was thinking that there's so many different ways to be healthy. So I think it somewhat relates to what you're saying, but if find the thing that you're wanting to do as well. If you really love yoga and yoga is so fun and interesting to you, then just do yoga. You don't need to go for runs. You don't need to do weightlifting. Just do yoga and do that and set up a schedule for that. The yoga videos that we watch and we follow on YouTube, that's all they do is yoga. They maybe go for walks and hikes and stuff like that, but they're not in some strict weightlifting routine and they go for, miles and miles runs. Like their main activity is yoga and Pilates. Towards you can be healthy just by that.
To where if you like, the people that we watch and we do their videos, they're so awesome. Their YouTube is Boho, BOHO Beautiful. I would highly recommend looking at them. But again, going to like the full spectrum and the balance of their portfolio of, they do yoga and they, maybe do Pilates here and there, but they also eat fairly balanced and fairly healthy. They live in a place that they love. They go outside, they're out in nature, they're doing things that are feeding their soul, their heart, their physical activity, feeding their body with the, good food, or not good food. I don't like saying that, but like balanced food.
Mm-hmm.
The full spectrum.
Those are the three things that I named, the diet, that activity, and your mental state. They have all three of those boxes checked. And it's not like you have to do this type of working out. You have to do, you have to be vegan. You have to do it. Like it's find what's going to work for you and beat that drum. Just keep beating the drum. If you're struggling with the diet part of it, find what you feel like is your kind of path food-wise. For some people, it is vegan. For some people, it's, no, I just want a balanced diet. For some people, it's no dairy. Find your thing and then work on, again, just like the exercising, baby steps. You're starting with, okay, I want to get away from processed foods, but I eat a lot of them right now. Okay, well, find the processed foods that are better for you than the ones that you're choosing right now. Then do that for a while. Once you figure that out and have done that, now you can take another step of, okay, I'm going to try to take away some of these processed foods and put them in with, more fruits and vegetables or meat or whatever it may be. But again, it's baby steps with everything. That's what's going to create the structure and the consistency and the stability to continue to move you forward. It's not these, I eat like crap right now, so I'm going to completely
go on a diet.
I'm going to completely flip my diet upside down and start something that I've never done before. Now I have to buy all these foods and I have to make all this food and do all this stuff that I've never done and I'm not used to doing, and try to keep that going. You're asking almost the impossible of yourself.
And it's just unnecessary. Like this is already going to be hard for you probably. I'm not saying like buckle up, but like if this is a topic that is resonating with you and can relate to you and you even clicked on this video, you're probably someone that this is going to be hard. This is hard. The baseline is hard, and that's okay, but take it as that. You are at the baseline right now. You're struggling to find a balance with working out, with eating, with managing your life. So then don't try to give yourself this high expectation or the high goals. Like, yeah, like you said, you eat a lot of processed foods or you eat a lot of bad foods. You put a lot of sugar in your foods, or when you make at home, like you're not maybe choosing the healthier recipe for it. Like, okay, start slow. Don't try to like you said, like, now I'm going to buy all these different foods and cook all these different things. Why?
Yeah.
Like that's, unless for some reason that really excites you and you went through a complete life change. Like I think my dad kind of did that, where he was just like, I'm just cutting it out. But that is not common. And I don't know, you're going to binge probably. Like you're going to reverse back to, it's like yo-yo dieting.
Mm-hmm.
Or you like, like I fall out, like I get really pumped and I go to the gym for a couple weeks and then I never go again for a year. And then I go for a week and then I don't go again for a year.
Yeah. And I eat
like,
well for 2 months and then I don't for the next 10.
Yeah. This is something that should be slow and steady. And like we said with the foundation of the house a couple episodes ago, like if you want your dream house, you want it to like take time to build and the good quality equipment and stable and you want it to work for you and be able for you to live in for a long time. You doing one of those like just throw it together, that's not going to happen.
I don't want to repeat myself too much, but I feel like that is, I don't know, that's my opinion of what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's like, just keep trying. I know that sounds kind of cheesy and like, don't give up, but don't give up. Like, don't also go into this plan thinking that you're going to be perfect and that you're not going to slip off the plan. Part of the plan is you slipping off and figuring out how to get back on and figuring out how to get back to your steps. And like, this is a new skill for you. This is a new tool. And I think you probably have figured out in other areas of your life that as an adult, it's also harder to make these changes and harder to adapt these new ways. That give yourself the patience, but also try. Don't give yourself the easy way out, but be patient. But just be as realistic as you can, but give yourself what you want. Just give yourself the steps to make it easier to how to get there.
Yeah. And I think there's a big point in there of what you said of you're going to fall off at some point, and that's okay. Just get back on.
Yeah.
Like it happens to us still all the time.
For sure.
We'll have plans to work out that day and it just doesn't happen, and that's fine. And then the next day comes around and we have that opportunity that day to right the ship and get back on and start going again. You have that every day you wake up to right the ship. So just make the decision to do it. And I think what will help you is some of the things that we laid out of create more of a plan and create some steps to get to this goal that you have. Or even if you don't have a goal and you're just wanting to make a lifestyle, what do you want that lifestyle to look like? Now start making steps and achievable goals to get there. Baby steps. That's what's going to get you there. That's what's going to build the structure. And when the days come where you miss or you can't go or you just don't have the will to do it, and you maybe even go, you don't even go, the next day comes around and you've built that structure of, I can get up and go do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like we said in the beginning, it's worth it. You should know that you are worth putting in this time and effort towards this. And yeah, just don't give up on it. Never, ever, ever give up on it.
No, even if you don't do anything we said and you try to blitz it and you go after it and you fizzle out again,
That's okay.
that's fine. But just don't stop trying, because at some point something is going to click and make sense to you, and you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
something eventually it'll click.
yeah.
It will click. And yeah, I think it's just, that's also why there's people like us to help and guide. And, you know, like we said, it is our job. It's not maybe always your job. It's your job to put in the work, but it can be our job to help you and kind of assist you in how to make this more sustainable and easier for you. Yeah.
I think the last point for me, and it's something that I already brought up or said, it's very, a lot of people are saying that you need to do all of the things. You don't need to do all the things. Find the balance that works for you and is going to keep you motivated and going. You know, the person that exercises and is active 2 days a week, every single week for 52 weeks out of the year, is going to be a way healthier person than the person that blitzes and goes 6 days a week for 3 months and then fizzles out and does nothing.
Yeah.
You know, so I know it continues to seem like just things are adding, and you just, now that they're talking about another thing you got to add, another thing they got to add. Find what works for you and what you can do. Do that consistently and you'll be fine. You don't need to do all of the things at all of the highest levels just to be healthy.
No.
You need to do what works for you and what is going to keep you consistent, and that's what's going to help you get to be healthy and stay healthy.
Yeah. 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 Well, should we go into some of our announcements?
Yeah.
So with that, if you are wanting, I didn't mean this to be a add into the promo, but we are running a holiday, what's it called?
Discount?
Deal, yeah. I couldn't think of what it was called before either. A holiday deal. We just ran the Black Friday one, but that is obviously over. Our holiday one is going to be now from when you're listening to it until January 1st. And that one is you get our personal training terms are 3 months at a time. And we do that for reasons like what we just said, is helping you create that consistency, and also to be able to kind of get you a little bit closer to maybe certain goals. And again, like giving you those steps. We just feel like 3 months is a good timeline to be able to do that for you and for on our end. But our deal is that you get the first month half off, which is a large discount. So I would definitely take advantage of that, because I don't think we will run that very often. And then we will also have should we say the other?
Yeah.
Giveaway? You can do that one.
We're going to do a giveaway with the programs. We're going to give away 5 programs for free. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel and then email us at thehub.fitcrew@gmail.com. And what were we going to say to email? Email which program you would like. And
yes. So email what program you would like, because we're allowing you to choose whichever one you prefer. So thehub.fitcrew@gmail.com. If your name isn't attached to your email, put your name, put which program you would like to receive. And you can put Hub Holiday Giveaway.
Yeah. So subscribe to the channel, email thehub.fitcrew@gmail.com, Hub Holiday Giveaway, and the program that you are wanting.
Yeah. And you'll be able to, we'll post about this on our social media. Obviously on here while you're watching it. Our email, like we just said, the hub.fitcrew. Our Facebook is the Hub Fitness, and our Instagram is all under or lowercase the Hub _
Fitness.
Yeah. Or is it fit?
Nope, fitness.
Sorry about it. Also, I wanted to give a little shout out to my sister who just passed her first semester of nursing school, which is really cool. And I'm super proud of her, and that's exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
is that everything?
I think so.
All
We're
right.
going to be posting our
So it's
podcasts. I guess just wrapping up. We're going to be posting our podcasts a little bit more scheduled from now on.
Yes. Mondays and Thursdays.
So be on a lookout for that. And of course, just even if you don't want to do the giveaway, which I think is silly to not do, but still subscribe, like it. But yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for watching. We will have another one out on Monday.
Yeah.